you've talked in there about white Americans, you've talked about Black Americans, but of course we have the growing Hispanic community that's there. Are you able to measure the Hispanic community in their Bible engagement?
We are. Yeah. The Hispanic community is another real bright spot. Many Hispanics have recently migrated to the United States, and a lot of them come from deep backgrounds of faith. I mean, you don't have to be much of a student of revival to realize that Brazil and Argentina have had some of the greatest revivals in the history of the world over the last 25 years or so. And not just in the far south of South America, but also in Central America for all their social and economic turmoil. There's been a lot of real revival taking place there. And so folks who have migrated to the United States have often brought with them a very vibrant faith. And if they are Catholic, as many of them are, they are vibrantly Catholic. I mean, they're really engaged with God in the Catholic Church. If they are Protestant, they are vibrantly Protestant. And so what we see is that Hispanics are actually, by ethnicity, the next highest level of scripture engagement. So African Americans first, followed by Hispanics. 18% of them are scripture engaged, 32% of them are in the movable middle, and that leaves half of Hispanics who are Bible disengaged.
When you're looking at Gen Z, does that take into consideration the ethnic diversity of Gen Z too?
We can cut that data. What we generally find is that the generational cohorts are a little bit more explanatory among younger generations than ethnicity is. So we tend to look at them separately, so we don't end up with such small groupings of people that we have. Researchers don't like really large confidence intervals, so we like to be able to report things that we can report reliably. And if you look at a difference, it's a meaningful difference.
So then one of the it seems like one of the fruits of the study is showing that these different ethnic groups are extremely engaged. They have faith, a deep faith, it sounds like, for their coming. That actually is very good for the future of the American church, as we consider the diversity of the church as a strength. Would you agree with that?
I do. I think, there's something that the traditional kind of, if you think of a traditional white church in America, I think there's something that, I mean, I'm a white pastor. Okay. So I think there are things I can learn from my African American brothers and sisters and from my Hispanic brothers and sisters about how they do ministry within a community that could be instructive to me. I think one of the things that my Black pastor friends have taught me is that the church is really a center of all things that are needed in the community. It helps men understand how to be good fathers. It's kind of an all-in-one holistic spiritual and social service agency, and deeply rooted in the community. And I think about Jesus. Jesus was talking in the Sermon on the Mount about social issues
Mhm.
because the gospel has implications for the way we live our lives in community with others. And so that's what I mean by that. And so I think there's something that we can learn there. Whereas many parts of the church have kind of dichotomized faith. They had what we sometimes call the excluded middle. We have this kind of top part of our worldview where we think, well, God's up there somewhere, and one day I'll go to be with him. And so my whole engagement with God and scripture is kind of about having fire insurance for tomorrow, but it isn't really, I put it on Sunday and I really don't take it with me on Monday. And that's really not the message of a biblical gospel. The Bible has a lot to say about how we live our lives Monday through Sunday. And it talks to us as integrated whole people who are influenced by the Spirit and by the message of the gospel. And in some ways, I think the Black church has done a great job of contextualizing scripture for the people that they most often serve.